Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope everyone is doing well. Um, Again, Alhamdulillah, subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a great blessing that He has given us this time on our hands, this opportunity to live another day. And the greatest blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to have the resources, abilities, capacity, and obviously the health and safety that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided us with. That has assured us and that has given us the opportunity to live another day. There are billions and billions of people in this world, roughly 7 billion people in the whole corners of the world. And if you start really segmenting them by the number of resources available to so many different people, even on the basic necessities like running water, if you imagine it is a completely unexpected element in our lives that you turn on the tap of any water tap and the water won't flow. But the reality is that the running water is available to less than 3% of the global population. 97% of the living people on this planet, they have to travel to a certain degree to get fresh water within their houses. And there isn't any concept of any abilities or facilities or pipelines or any other domain in this regard. And if you further start dividing people who have enough food to last 3 meals a day, that again is a minor segment of the people. And then you start segmenting about people who have access to electricity, who have access to internet, who have access to digital technologies, the number of people using smartphones in the world. And you will see that even with 7 billion people, you probably might end up in a very unique quota of people who have access to so many things within our daily lives that we often take them for granted. And when you really spend some time and start realizing the blessings in that domain, then you start realizing and understanding to a certain degree of why we see so many things happening on a global scale that give rise to inequality, injustice, and the voices of so many people who protest against the dominant forces in any other country, in any country of the world, in any location of the world. And I think from a current perspective, as I know that I've been tasked to speak about some of the recent things that are happening on a global scale, just to keep people informed on how things are going to be progressing in the future. And you will see that every major issue of the world we have obviously stems from some very basic mistakes or some very basic historical injustices that were carried out. And now we see a reflection of what has been happening for a number of decades before us, and now it's coming to the full light of it. And that is the truth across any other country or any country you would see in the whole world, whether it is the racial injustice in US, in UK, in Europe, or some of the other countries, whether even it is the access to education and resources, and the capacity to build any nation that every country in the world has access to these things is probably based on a system of injustice that has been given rising to, well, that has been there for centuries now. And it has given rise to the tyranny and the dictatorship and the hate of so many few people against the wider populations at times. And I think what we have to remember is that at any given space and time, like we are living on what date is it, 13th of June 2020, things that are happening today are definitely going to have an impact on the future. Whatever you do today, and this is a hadith of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ad-dunya mazratul akhirah, and he said it very clearly, that take this world as a place of plantation, as any farmer or field where you are putting in different seeds in the ground. And whatever you are putting in today is something that is going to come out as a proper tree or any output that we are going to say at the day of judgment. But even before that, all the abilities and the capacities that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us today, we are going to be answerable for it to a certain degree. I think it is, walaikum assalam.